Good afternoon, everyone. It was just about the afternoon, so I'll say good afternoon. And welcome to this session about, as I was introduced, the digital opportunities when conducting public consultations. Now, my name's Josh, and I'm the head of product here at Go Collaborate. And just a little bit of background on Go Collaborate. We provide online consultation platforms for our clients to reach their communities in a way that's more informative and accessible, whilst being easier to manage for themselves. We are passionate about helping places deploy consultations that are inclusive and reflect the views of all those who will be affected by the outcomes, no matter their age, technical background, or time availability. In my slot today, we'll be covering why effective community engagement is so important and why it's vital to get it right first time, the benefits of optimizing a digital approach, and how to deploy digital consultation effectively. And in the ever-growing digital world we now live in, with 80% of people now owning a smartphone, it's important to reach people on such impactful matters in a way that's easy and accessible. Now, we know there are so many important matters in a neighbourhood that need community feedback. Plans, projects, and proposals that enhance and protect spaces where people live for decades, perhaps even generations. Sadly, and all too often, residents hit engagement barriers because, let's be honest, some of these examples here can be quite jargon heavy or difficult to properly explain, and it makes it a challenge to excite the community and get everyone to chip in. And we know that at the bottom line, it's important that everyone knows what's going on. But why else is it important to ensure consultations are done properly and effectively? Much of the time, it's all too easy to act off of a short paper survey and a handful of responses, but that can pose problems in the long run. We need to ensure we engage and consult people effectively so that we can avoid misinformation, make sure data is representative, and so that we educate people and ultimately produce reports that can prove the integrity of the data. Now, of course, not all consultations are intrinsically bad if they don't involve a digital solution, but they often pose similar risks and pain points. I'm sure some of you are. Yes. Right, so. And so we need to make sure that we educate people and ultimately, yes. So some of these risks include interpreting handwriting, digesting the data, limited time availability, and the challenge of succinctly informing respondents. All these things can be resolved with a stronger focus on digital tools, which save precious resources like time and money, whilst also aiding the overall reach of the consultation and representativeness of the data. There will always be a need for non-digital access to a consultation. That's all part of providing something that's inclusive. But we need to learn to optimize this digital approach wherever we can. In turn, it will benefit those responding and those conducting the consultations. So an opportunity for the community when optimizing digital would be clearly be a greater reach. By being able to host consultations on online social groups that people already use or in online adverts, we can get consultations to where people digitally hang out. In effective digital engagement, any jargon can be explained and questions can be accompanied with visual explanations, which helps all different types of learners. Community members also don't have to go to various different links or download PDFs. Instead, they're all sat in one digital place. So now I'll talk about the benefits for those conducting consultations. And sometimes the use of digital tools can be a learning curve for those conducting the consultations, but investing time into one tool, which can be used limitless times, will be time well invested. If you can, try and find digital tools which provide a helping hand in constructing the online consultation. But once put into place, they can really help in collating and staying on top of those responses. Reports can be instantly generated, even midway through consultations, which means it's easier to know which demographic groups are responding and which changes need to be made to the engagement activities to reach the goal of an inclusive consultation. Additionally, having that one fixed place that can host all information can help that consistency of messaging and aid the number of more informed responses. All of this data including visitors to the online site, can help construct great statements of community involvement and even improve funding bid applications. There are a few other things to bear in mind when executing an effective digital consultation generally. A lot of this I'm sure you'll be familiar with already, especially that of proper planning. But for example, ensuring the engagement strategy is clear, digitally fit, and links well with the budget available for the whole campaign, and it will save a lot of great headaches. Also, with all of this emphasis on digital, it is still important to talk about how essential people still are. Getting commitment from community leaders and councillors on their engagement with consultation campaigns can amplify the awareness. Get them to share things on Facebook, LinkedIn, or even on their email contacts. This will bring with it that element of trust, which will make people more likely to engage. Now, deploying a digital consultation is the crux in making it great. If a digital tool exists in the digital space, but nobody sees it, it will flop, no matter how great the tool is. Now, there are two avenues that can make a lot of difference regarding a consultation's reach. Firstly, the use of social media. As I mentioned, we need to go to where people already digitally hang out. So find those online spaces, those online community groups, even the private ones, and find a way to post the consultation through those. This will bring with it that trust and the fact that the time involved gathering those online communities has already been done for you. Also, the use of Facebook advertising cannot really be overlooked. It's cheap and it can easily be tailored to geographic areas so that the consultation will appear in people's timelines as they scroll. Now, secondly, something else that is useful about digital consultations is the ability that community members will have to answer right there and then when they see it through their smartphone. So pop a QR code on pub tables, bus stops, park benches, anywhere where people may sit and have a spare few minutes to at least go online and take a look. Even better if this is somewhere where people socially hang out, so that they can talk to each other about what they're answering. Now, when I talk about a digital approach, I don't mean a free and simple online survey, although some of the benefits I talk about can be reflected in these tools, such as the ability to promote it online, but they can pose their own risks, such as an inability to properly explain what's being consulted on, and an inability to feed back the results to the community effectively. When you go shopping for your online consultation tools, try and find ones that are more of a fixed online space, somewhere where users can return to, amend their answers, find out more, or read results and outcomes even. This will allow users to bookmark that link, and trust can be built with that online space. Being able to save as they go or return to their answers will mean users don't have to dedicate one large lump of time to something. It's important they're able to revisit should they be busy. On top of that, try and find tools which allow you to accompany questions with easily accessible information about what's being asked, such as a glossary, an interactive map, or PDF documents, like evidence documents. So as I'm drawing to a slight close now, I'd like to just present some key takeaways on what I've spoken about. So it is always, like I said, important to have a good plan when we're talking about digital online consultations. It needs to be in the back of our minds. And with many of you in job roles which involve very busy responsibilities, find those digital tools that will ultimately make your role easier and save time. Don't underestimate the role of people. Like I said, super fans of a consultation. Getting the message out there really does count, and having those people to be able to back it up within the community, integrated into the community, really does matter. And ultimately, find tools that are accessible for the community and you. Inform, excite, and give the ability for you guys to feedback on the consultation as well. It is in line with gunning principles for consultation that we're able to feedback and people feel really heard from the consultation that's being conducted and heard about the campaign as a whole. So, thank you very much for listening.